If you notice that your clothes are taking forever to dry, or when your dryer's running, it's hot to the touch, or you smell burning, this is your sign to clean your dryer vent. In fact, every year there are thousands of house fires caused by your dryer and excessive lint buildup in the vent, and this is very dangerous because the lint is extremely flammable. So let me show you the best way to clean that up. The first thing I like to do is pull out the dryer and clean the machine itself. Now, when you're pulling it out, just be very careful. You don't want to damage the hose connected to the dryer vent itself. So pull slowly, and then once you get that out, disconnect the hose from the vent, and always make sure to unplug the machine. Then I'll grab my vacuum cleaner and start vacuuming the backside of the dryer and the floor. Now, just like any time you remove an appliance and pull it out that's been there for a long time, it can be a little scary because you're never quite sure what you'll find. But by starting with vacuuming, you get rid of all the easy stuff and you're not tracking it around the house while you're cleaning the rest. Now, this is a very handy tool to have for this job. This is just a flexible brush here. It works great at getting in all sorts of nooks and crannies. Now, I do like to take this and use it on the exhaust vent here in the machine itself. Sometimes lint will get caught in that vent there, so I'll just give that a quick scrub and then vacuum it up. This is also a good time to pull out your filter and give the lint trap a good brush and vacuum. And again, this is where that brush comes in very handy because it's flexible and can get in all those nooks and crannies. Now, to clean the dryer vent itself, we need to first locate where it comes out of the house. Many times this is going to be in close proximity to where the dryer is on the inside. Every once in a while it'll be kind of in a random part of the house, but once you find that, I like to remove the cover. That way I have good access for cleaning. Now, sometimes it will be on the roof of your house, and if this is the case, unfortunately, I do suggest calling a professional because they have a lot of specialized tools for those scenarios and can get that nice and clean. Now, this next tip may seem a little strange, but I promise, stick with me, it's worth it. Just grab a pair of old pantyhose or buy a cheap pair at the store, and we're gonna grab them and we're just gonna wrap it around the exhaust hole here on the house. Now, what this is going to do is catch all of the lint that we blast out instead of blasting it all over the yard here, which makes it really hard to clean up, and we just don't want to make a mess. So now that we're all set on the outside, what I like to do is come back inside and grab a leaf blower. I know it's a little strange to use a leaf blower on the inside, but this does a great job to get rid of that first layer of lint. Now, to use this, all you have to do is stick it in the hole. I do like to grab just a microfiber towel and wrap it around. That way I can get a good seal and just turn it on, and it's amazing to see all of the lint get trapped in the pantyhose. Now, what's nice about this is it works fast. You usually don't have to turn it on for real long. I'll do it from anywhere from 30 seconds to about a minute or two, but you just want to make sure to get that first layer of lint. So now that we have that first layer of lint out of the tubes here with the leaf blower, now I like to come through with a dryer vent cleaning kit. Now, these just consist of a few flexible rods that you can extend to various lengths depending on how long your tubes are, and a brush here on the end. Now, I just got this one over on Amazon, but you can usually find them even at your local big box stores, and they're relatively pretty cheap. Now, to use these, it's really simple. You'll just need a drill here, and usually I'll start with 2 links that I just kind of screw together here. Now, something to always keep in mind is to only ever spin your drill in a clockwise motion. If you go in a counterclockwise motion, what can happen is you can actually unscrew these connections here, and if this comes off in the middle of your vent, unfortunately, it's stuck, and you're gonna have to try to find a way to fish it out of there, and that can be a real pain. Now, I know some people also like to just screw these together, and then they'll just use a little bit of electrical tape or duct tape to make sure that won't happen. If you wanna do that, it's not a bad idea too. Now, this part will get a little dusty and messy, so I do like to have my shop vac available. That way I can kind of just put it at the entrance of the hole here and suck up everything that I'm pulling out. Now, when it comes to running the drill brush, it's pretty easy, but there are a few things I like to mention. The first is just go slow with it. Don't pull the trigger all the way on your drill because the brush will get a little crazy and you don't want to damage any of the vents. I also like to work my way in slowly, like 6 to 12 inches at a time, push it forward and then pull it back, and you'll really start to see the dust and lint come out. Now, another thing to mention, again, I know I said this before, but never, ever, ever run your drill backwards or counterclockwise because we don't want to unscrew the segments that are inside. Now, I will say sometimes it will feel like the brush all of a sudden gets stuck and you can't move it very well. Don't be alarmed, this happens. It even happened in this one here. All you have to do is kind of move it forward and backward a little bit and just kind of test the speed. Sometimes you gotta go a little bit faster with the drill or a little bit slower as you push forward and pull back, and it should come loose. What happens is it's where those connections meet. Those kind of like to get stuck on all the curves and corners, and usually in this venting, there's a lot of kind of loose tin edges that it will get clipped on. So just kind of work it back and forth and it should come free. Now, as you can see here, the shop vac again comes in super handy because you're gonna pull a ton of that dust out, and I barely got any on the rocks. Now, I like to just continue this process of pushing that drill brush all the way into the opening on the inside and pulling it out until I feel like all the dust and debris and lint has been removed. Now, I will say one tip with this job is it's nice to have a helper on the inside. That way you can tell exactly when everything's clean there and you're done outside. Now, once the vents are nice and clean, the next step is to reattach the dryer to the vents, plug it in, and then push it back in place. Now, there are a few things you can do on a regular basis to help keep your dryer vent as clean as possible. The first being, and this might be kind of obvious, but it's always recommended to clean out your lint trap after every single time you use your dryer. I also like to suggest to clean your filter screen on your lint trap at least once a month, especially if you like to use dryer sheets. Many times whatever in the dryer sheets can clog the pores of the filter here, causing it not to let air flow through, and that can cause issues drying, so clean this once a month. Another thing I like to check every so often is just to come outside and make sure the doors on the vent here easily open. That way there's nothing blocked here, because if these do get blocked, your dryer's not gonna, well, dry. And there you have it, this dryer vent cleaned up great. I honestly can't believe how much lint we pulled out. This machine is gonna be running so much better, but most importantly, the house will be safer too. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I really think you'll enjoy this one up over in the corner, and I need to give a huge shout out to the Clean Squad members over on the Patreon. Thank you so much for continuing to support Clean That Up. If you wanna learn more about that, click the link down in the description below, and we'll see you over there.